All right, welcome to the Grocery Shop for Free podcast. I am joined here today by Victoria Huizinga. Victoria is a wife and mom of three who blogs at Snail Pace Transformations. And Snail Pace Transformations is a blog with the mission of helping moms find the time and money they need to pursue their passions while maintaining balance in their lives. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
So did I say your last name right, Huizinga?
You actually did, yes.
Okay, good deal. So the reason why we have Victoria on the show today is because we're going to talk about something I don't really know hardly anything about. So it's a lot like last week where we had a guest on to cover a topic I didn't know a bunch about. We're going to talk about frugal Christmas decorating tips this week. And that's important because, you know, Christmas is such a time sink or a money sink for so many of us. I was just looking at our bank account today, and my lovely wife has spent hundreds of dollars on Christmas gifts for everyone. We don't really have a whole lot of money left over for decorating, which is fine, I guess. We've got 4 kids and 4 grandkids to buy for, so it can get kind of expensive. So I've got a frugal expert on today that's going to give us a bunch of great tips about how to get your house in that, you know, that Christmas state of mind and get it decorated, but on the cheap. So Victoria, we are so happy to have you here.
Thanks.
So let's just dive into it. So before we dive into it, tell us a little bit like how you got into the frugal thing and kind of what your background is and why you're an expert at this.
I guess really being thrifty started as a child for me. I just watched my parents model it. And then when we got married, I wanted to stay home with the kids. And
right.
So to live on the one income, my husband's a registered nurse, and you have to make thrifty lifestyle choices.
Right.
And I started blogging, not really knowing what I was going to write about, except for that I know I wanted to help other moms. And the thrifty aspect of things just really started taking off. They are the biggest traffic driver to my blog are those topics and the topics of decluttering. So those are my 2 main topics on my blog.
Fantastic. So then let's get into what are some of the things that we can do to make our house look Christmassy on the cheap.
Okay. Well, I wrote a list out of my top points that I used.
Okay.
And first is to really start thinking about it on December 26th when you're putting the Christmas stuff away.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll never forget one year we pulled out the Christmas ornaments or whatever, and they were just smashed glass, something had fallen on them over the year. And so do a much better job of packing them away than we did.
Yeah. And on that day, that's usually a day when I write down that we need more light strands or more Christmas ornaments or those types of things. And I'll look for those on the Christmas clearance. And I usually wait until they go down to at least 75% off. A lot of people have them the day after, but there's usually plenty of stuff left when they get down to 75%. So
yeah, I know Walmart, it's 25% the day after Christmas and then 50% about a week after. And then usually like the January 1st, 2nd, they just want to get rid of everything. So everything's 75 to 90% off.
Yeah,
they're ready for something else.
It's around January 1st. You're right. That's usually when the biggest markdowns come down. And for basic stuff, there's usually lots of it still left.
So that's pretty smart. The idea of kind of looking over as you're packing stuff away and saying, okay, we need more of this, more of this, more of this, and actually having a shopping list. That's a lot smarter than the way we do it, which is just picking up whatever we see while we're out. All right, that's fantastic.
And my second point would be to use materials that you probably already have on hand. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite Christmas decorations is basically just a bread basket that we have that I fill with ribbons off of various different gifts that I've gotten over the years. And I can actually, probably it's strange, other people can't do this, but I can actually remember what gifts they come from. So to me, it has meaning besides just being the ribbons themselves. And I just throw lights in there and a couple of Christmas the glass Christmas baubles, that kind of thing. And it ends up being really pretty, and it just using stuff I already have. So
is this like a centerpiece for your table or what?
Well, actually, it sits on a table just outside my door. This one does. Okay. So, yeah. But since we homeschool, centerpieces don't usually work that well because the dining room table is usually covered with books.
Yeah. It's that we're the same way. We've got all of our kids are older now, but yeah, we've even now with the grandkids, our table is constantly full of stuff. In fact, my daughter was over here last night telling us that not to put because we have all the leaves in the table from Thanksgiving still. She said, don't put the leaves away because she's going to come over and fill it up with sugar cookies and decorate cookies on our table this week. So yeah, I get it. The table's a multi-use tool for the house. Well, that's great. So kind of reuse what you already have and kind of use what's already around the house and make it look Christmassy. Good deal.
My third tip would be to take advantage of yard sales. Some of my favorite pieces are actually things that I found at yard sales. I've got these red glass balls that I got for, I don't know, can't remember the price, but it was extremely cheap. Right. And I like to put them in a big red hurricane container that I got on clearance and set them up in the corner with lights around them. And I've also gotten ornaments for a Christmas tree and stuff like that at yard sales, very inexpensively.
Okay. All right. So kind of be on the lookout throughout the year for what you need. All right.
Mm-hmm. My other favorite source of places is thrift stores.
Okay.
They have Christmas stuff all year round usually, but at Christmas time they tend to put them all in one spot for you. Yeah. And I've gotten lots of Christmas garlands that way, and various little ornaments, stuff like that there for inexpensive prices that I've used throughout our house for displays. So,
well, yeah. So already going to the places that are that already have that stuff on sale. Yeah, and again, probably the best time to do that is the week after Christmas as opposed to the week before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because a lot of people will donate their stuff as they're putting it away for the year. They're like, this never came out, and they'll toss it in their bags. And so that's when it's going to show up in the thrift stores too. So yeah, it's the same as shopping. And another tip that I use is just make it your own.
Okay.
Well, of course, DIY can get expensive if you don't think it through. You got to think about the cost of the materials and whether it's worth it. But some simple things don't cost a lot. There's tons of ideas on Pinterest.
Right. Yeah, that's what Pinterest is for. In fact, if you maybe start a board that's just for like frugal Christmas tips or whatever, you could probably fill that up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And so, I guess you get your kids involved and have them, make if they're simple enough, they can cut construction paper, right?
Yeah.
They can color.
One year, a couple of years ago, my kids were younger. My daughter used her Duplo, and she made these giant. They were probably 3 feet tall, little elves and a Santa and a Mrs. Santa, and she made the words "Merry Christmas" and just everything out of her Duplo. She used probably every piece she had, and it was just so cute. We have one of those dining room windows that pop out, and so you have the big window sill. And she filled that entire area with the Christmas display that was just made out of Duplo. So kids' toys are another thing to look at. We've used when the boys were little, they had the wooden trains, and we used the wooden train set around the base of the Christmas tree and had like an engine with battery operated. So on Christmas morning, it was going around the train. The train was going around the tree, and that's cool. So that's worked out well. And another one we've changed is. We've taken Happy Meal toys before. My daughter did this, and they had these little stuffed animals one time. They were small Build-A-Bears, I think they were. And we just took a piece of thread and put a needle through the top, and we tied them to the tree, and they're just like little bears on the tree, and they look really cute, and they're just using toys that you don't need anymore. So.
Yeah, I know. We didn't do it very often, but I know growing up a couple times the popcorn on a string, where you sit around and as a family, you got the needle and the thread and you're doing popcorn on a string. Have that. What does it cost to pop popcorn? Pennies.
Yeah.
And that's a really easy one to do as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, it is an easy one. So, see what else I've got here. Just as I said, just using also just everyday items that you have around your house that I use I have this cake platter, the lids, and I fill it with some of my pieces from it's the dollar store, which is another point. You can go to your dollar store and get Christmas ornaments fairly inexpensive. And actually at one time they had Christmas villages for the longest time. And every year they brought out new pieces and they were at the dollar store. And I put some of them in my cake, big glass cake platter with the lid. And we put some snow in there and just make a little scene and, within the glass. And it's just a way of taking something that's you already own and already out probably. Okay. It's on top of our china cabinet usually. So we just fill it with, Christmas things during Christmas time. So
you're repurposing things you already have. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I have to tell you, probably the coolest Christmas ornament I've seen so far this year. I haven't seen it myself, so I don't even know if it's available in the States, but somebody posted online. It's a Coca-Cola bottle. So you've got the label around the Coca-Cola bottle. Mm-hmm. You take it and you peel it off, and so the label peels off in a strip about an inch and a half wide. Mm-hmm. So you peel it off, so it's this long strip, but it doesn't come totally unattached from the bottle. It's just this long strip of red paper, basically now. Mm-hmm. But then there's a thicker piece of plastic attached to the back of it, and when you pull that, it pulls the ribbon for the that you peeled off the Coca-Cola bottle, and when it's done, it turns your Coca-Cola label into a bow.
Really?
I'm not really explaining it as well as it is, but yeah, you just pull this little piece of paper, and now you've got a Coca-Cola bottle with a bow on it. And I thought, well, a lot of us are already buying Coke products. If you could find these with the Christmas decoration built into it, you could do all kinds of stuff with that. I just thought that was such a neat idea in a way that Coca-Cola is kind of getting into the Christmas spirit. I thought that was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
That's kind of neat. Actually, my husband, he drinks Coca-Cola quite a bit, so I have to see if I can get one of those for him. Probably.
Yeah, I just thought it was the neatest thing. I put it up on my Facebook page the other day. I'll see if I can't repost it or something. Uh-huh. But it's really neat. Like I said, I haven't seen it myself, but boy, I'm gonna start looking for it in the stores because that mm-hmm. just sounds like a really awesome idea. Mm-hmm. I'd like one of those for the house. Mm-hmm. Well, do you have anything else?
Oh, well, let's look at here. Shop sales too. Sometimes closeout sales, if mm-hmm. a store is going out of business, are definitely looking for. One year, my husband, I love willow tree ornaments, and I really wanted the Advent count, the scene, the nativity scene, and my husband knew I really wanted it, and he found it in a closeout store for, I think he paid probably he saved 50 or 60% off of it. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing to watch. And then he just made me the background. He's handy, so he made me the background himself and had it, light up and everything. And so watching closeout sales, even if it's not a store that maybe was mostly Christmas, if they have stuff in the back and they're, closing down, they're going to bring it out. And the one I had was a display model that I still have all the boxes and everything for it. So
something else that I know a lot of our friends do is a lot of them will have one thing that they really like, that they really collect, and so friends and family members throughout the year, if they see like one, it's manger scenes, so they probably have 50 of these little tiny manger scenes, and they have them up all over the house. And so over the course of the year, if you've got a friend or a family member out traveling and they happen to see one, a lot of times they'll pick one up and that'll be the gift they come bring back from their trip, and they can start accruing these things over the years. Or another friend does Coca-Cola products. Mm-hmm. So Christmas is big with Coca-Cola. They do the polar bear and the Santa Claus and all that stuff. So they've got all this Coca-Cola Christmas stuff around the house and stuff that other people have bought for them. Mm-hmm. So if you've got one thing that you really enjoy, you can tell friends and family members that's kind of what you would like them to get for you as they go out.
Ornaments can be really meaningful too. And actually, one of the best ones when I was doing my tree this year. My kids are all older now. They're 13 and 15 and almost 20. And I didn't put a lot of thought into it when they were little, but I'm so glad I did it now, is we took one year, you can go in Joann's and you get these little wooden ornaments, and they're under $1 each, and they go on 50% off so they're like 50 cents. And they've got like sort of like a little scene printed on them for you to color.
Oh, okay.
And they hang on your tree. And one year I sat the kids all down and we did them, and we put our names on the back, including my husband and I, and we have them all dated, and they've become my favorite ornaments. And because they're, the kids' drawings and they're only 50 cents a piece, and they last forever because they're wooden, and we just used felt markers on them that seem to work really well. You don't have to go out and get paints and stuff.
Yeah, and that's what probably the most important thing about the holidays, especially if you got kids or grandkids, that you're building this bank of memories that you're pulling out of storage once a year, that you can kind of say, you guys remember when we did this? Remember when we did this? And it doesn't have to cost hardly anything to do that, but that memory of that we're doing this as a family, that just becomes so crucial as they get older and they start having kids of their own, and you want to instill these traditions in them that they can share with their family. And so that's great. That's fantastic.
Some people too have, if you looked on Pinterest, you'd probably find some ideas, but taking Christmas cards that you've received from family members and making them into ornaments and stuff like that. There's all sorts of ideas for doing that. And of course, that's a free idea right there.
Right.
Since I've had loved ones that have passed away, to have their card and their writing still there on the tree would be really meaningful as well. And, again, it doesn't cost much. So
that's one I've never thought of, is you can do stuff with the cards. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Victoria, do you have anything else? It sounds like we've kind of gotten to the end of it here.
Yeah, I think that we've gone through all the different ones that I can think of.
If you're on Blab, if you're watching this on Blab, my wife put the link to the little Coca-Cola ribbon down there.
Okay. I see it there.
Yeah.
Bottom. Yeah, those are the ones that I think the most important thing to remember is that it doesn't have to cost a lot to be memorable.
Exactly.
And Christmas is in the memories. It's not in the things.
Right.
So.
Fantastic. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for being on here. You've given us a lot of information. If you are watching this live on Blab, we will return on Thursday to break down all of this week's deals. If you're listening to this on the podcast later, then the deals will be immediately following this. So again, Victoria, thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate you. If you liked what she had to say, you can follow her at Snail Pace Transformations. I guess it's snailpacetransformations.com.
Yes.
Is that it? Okay. And she's on Twitter at snailpacetrans. So you can follow her there as well. So thanks again, Victoria, and we will talk to you. We will talk to you later. We might have you on again.
Thanks. Thanks for having me. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.